Hello everyone! Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sel. Wow, I was gone for 2 months. I'm sorry for not being able to upload any videos for the whole of December to January. The short and sweet explanation is I just wanted to spend time with family and go outside in the sunshine. During the past 2 months, I just wanted to be around people, basically. But yeah, I'm back. So thanks for still being here. And let's get on with this new video. I wanted to post something that's very time sensitive for the month of February. February 4 was World Cancer Day, and February is Piggy Pen's coloring tube fundraiser to support world cancer research. So that goes on for the whole of February, as you know, and I do want to participate in the fundraiser. It feels important to make this my first video of 2026. This is the first time I'm going to come out and say this, but I've been living with cancer since 2022. I have been living with actually stage 4 diagnosis. It's been a long and tough battle. So coloring was an escape from reality, but not only that, I decided to make YouTube videos for me to leave a legacy for my family. And then I saw that it wasn't really going anywhere. I mean, the YouTube channel was quite underwhelming. So I thought that, it was a waste of time and effort. And then, surprisingly, coloring tube event happened thanks to Piggy Pens. And as much as I kept my diagnosis private, it felt like the universe was telling me that my real life and my hobby was converging. So I decided that it was a sign for me to come out and share this about me. And more importantly, maybe somebody out there needs to hear this. Somebody needs inspiration or hope. And so I feel like it's important for me, and it's my honor and my duty to participate. So I'm participating in the fundraiser by coloring this beautiful TLC page by RJ Hampson. This is an exclusive illustration for the coloring tube fundraiser, which you can get by donating. After you donate online, you'll get the link to download this illustration. The way that I'll participate is by making this as much of an educational video as possible that you'll find it useful enough to consider donating through my Ko-fi shop. Any donations for this video will be put to JustGiving website for the fundraiser. Yeah, so let's get on to the video. I'm going to use a mixed media, mostly colored pencils, but get your Derwent Inktense Prismacolors ready if you want to color with me. For this illustration, this is printed on Bristol vellum paper. Because the title is TLC, the mood should be warm, cozy, and I want a huge contrast between light and dark. Tip number 1, layer the colors to make the outcome more interesting. It's more interesting to have mixture of colors than straight out one color, one gradient. For the floor, I want to make it earthy, and I'm using a mixture of browns, yellow ochre, reddish brown, and just layering them together. It just elevates your gradient from being one tone to rich and organic. For the wall, I'm drawing rock details to show that it's a storybook cottage home. I'm using Derwent Inktense to draw the stones and then filling them up with Derwent drawing pencils. The shades that I happen to have are perfect for the shade or the palette that I'm going for. The color of the stone is a light green-gray color. After which, when I'm done with all of the stones, I'm going to color the lightest areas around the big window. Obviously, the area nearest the light source will be light and the corners will be dark. Tip number 2, pick the right size tool for the job. I often see even the pros using a small brush pen to color everything including the background. That's okay if you want to add texture. Otherwise, you are creating streaks and patchy blending. Not to mention, it takes forever. I use the largest flat brush that I have, especially for backgrounds, and I do this for painting and also for activating water soluble mediums. In this case, I'm activating the Derwent Inktense with my largest flat brush. There are brushes that are bigger than this, but it's the largest that I have. When activating water soluble mediums like this, don't forget to brush from light to dark to avoid contamination. Can you see how vibrant and interesting the colors became once all the brown and green shades were blended together? This is something that you can't achieve by just using one shade of color. Using the same flat brush, I'm also activating the wall, so you can see that the shades are very interesting as well. You can't really tell what color that was used to color the wall. Tip number 3, break out of the same old palette. Nobody wants to use boring and ugly colors like gray and brown, but I suggest that you should try it. Try to stay away from your go-to colors such as maybe pink or pastel or purples. Not every picture needs bright, happy colors or dopamine colors. For the bunny's comforter, I'm using organic colors like green, orange, and yellow. I'm muting them down so that I can stick to the rustic feel of the setting and the characters. I'm adding the pattern just to add texture since most of the elements in this illustration are blocky, so I'm sticking to small patterns so they can remain interesting yet obscure. I'm taking care to create a sharp contrast in the tone between the top of the comforter and the edge where the light doesn't reach from the window. I am using a little bit of pink because we have a saying called the pink of health. So for me, this is a little symbolism that this bunny is on his way to recovery, if not completely healed. For the pillow and the bed sheet, it's tempting to leave them white, but I colored them yellow, greenish gray, and pushed the darkness of the shadows. For the bed frame, I want it to be wood, but different shade from the earthen floor. And here I am darkening the floor with another layer of Inktense, and this time it's in more of a darker brown. Now that I've pushed the darkness on the bed and the floor, I'm going to darken the walls even more. I'm using Prismacolor's Sepia. It's a very good color to create shadow around the corners and on the stones. I actually used Sepia for almost all of the shadows in the background and the floor. Now it's time to color the window frame. So not the entire window will be lit. There will be areas of the window frame that will be in shadow because I decided that to add more drama or dramatic effect, I want the light to come in at an angle. I can add more shadows to the room and the light area will be more pronounced. I'm adding more shadows on the darker areas with Derwent Inktense pencil called Bark. Initially, I colored this with gray, the gray color pencils that I have, but I didn't like how it turned out. I felt like the bunny was too dark. So, and also I made a mistake because I wanted the underside or lower half of the bunny's face to be white, and instead I had created like a dark gray color on the whole side of the bunny's face. So I corrected that with gouache. So this is white mixed with a little bit of gray gouache. I guess it's time for tip number 4. Learn to find the focus. I'm using muted and neutral colors for everything else that's not the focus of the page, which is the bunny and the fox. And even on the background, you see that the muted and neutral colors intentionally serve to quiet down the background so that the viewer can keep the focus on the main characters in the foreground. Now you can see that I've colored the view outside the window with just a little bit of blue and green without and they're very light, just light shades of blue and green. However, at this point I encountered an accident, a disaster actually. I didn't catch it on camera, but I happened to spill my paint water all over this paper. And because I printed it myself, the ink from the printer bled and the line art became smudged and the ink just spread. So what I'm doing here is trying to clean up the line art and put white gouache on the edges of the line art to make them crisp again. And in the process, I started to add white gouache to where I have highlights on the page. For the fox doctor, I left the outline of her character white and painted the inside gray to show that she's silhouetted against the light. To amp up the shadows on the bed, I glazed the top of the blanket with yellow-white paint and added gray to the shadows on the side of the blanket. I also added gray to the pillows and the bed's shadows. I mixed yellow and white to glaze over my highlights to show sunlight. For the window, I painted the darker areas with raw umber. This color is a kind of grayish dark brown. And this brings me to the very last tip for this video, which is to embrace dark colors. If you're only using midtones and pastels, your page might be missing depth. Dark colors make everything pop. When you add a dark background, your highlights shine immediately. They also create dimension. When you don't have dark values, your coloring can look flat. That's why for this page, I keep adding more and more and more shadows. But I do it gradually because I don't want the page to look too dark. And dark colors don't mean dull. It creates mood and it can feel calm and dramatic. Dark colors also ground your picture. If you have a lot of bright colors fighting for attention, you can tone them down by glazing over with dark umber or sepia, which I've done for my page. It toned down the cherry reds, the oranges, the yellows around the furniture, around the window frame. So next time that you color, next time if your page looks flat, then add depth with darker colors and add depth by adding shadows and using darker colors. Embrace the dark and watch your color shine. So I colored this picture 2 times. The first version is on the left side and the second one, which we colored on this video, is on the right. The first version looks bright and colorful. Now, there's nothing wrong with that coloring, but I'm just saying that you can further elevate your coloring with just these tips. With the first version, you can't really tell any story just by looking at it. Now, looking at the second version, it looks more dramatic. The mood is very apparent. It's telling a story of darkness overcome, of triumph over something difficult. This is a story of recovery and hope. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you found my tips helpful. If you've enjoyed this video or if this cause touches your heart, there are two ways to help. First, you can go to my Ko-fi shop and make a donation there. I will be collecting all those funds and donating them directly to the official JustGiving page for the fundraiser. Second, if you're a colorist, go grab this page from RJ Hampson's site. Please like and subscribe to help my channel grow. Also, tell me in the comments, are there any tips you can relate to? I'd love to chat about it. Also, thank you to Piggy Pens for this fundraiser and for this opportunity. Bye, and I'll see you in the next one.